They try and see about the road condition. Now my market is
just for us to search for our family, not to support our family. They used to embarrass us under the former President regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a big challenge for us as a motorcycle company. We've related to say we are failure foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Councillor?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people called me and said, 10 million again? What is that? What I did for this morning? What happened? I said, can we arrest you for 10 million? My sister, 10 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is for the World Food Program.
K-News comes to you from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. You can listen to K-News at 6 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. every weekdays as we bring to you your news makers. K-News. K-News. Get all of the latest in the world of news. K-News. K-News.
Good evening from Silicon Plaza in Painesville. Welcome to K-News, a 45-minute newscast presentation from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. I'm Benjamin presenting this Monday, July 7, 2025 presentation of K-News Essays. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you the full package of the news. Welcome back to K-News Essays. We take our first development where the Office for the Establishment of the World and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia has signed a memorandum of understanding with a group of local musical artists to lead an awareness campaign about the importance of the court. The MOU was signed over the weekend as a part of efforts to use music as an awareness tool to reach a larger audience regarding the court's operation. According to the agreement, the artists will support public outreach, promote justice for war victims, help educate the public on the importance of accountability. Owet Executive Director Councillor Jala Babu during the signing ceremony indicated that contrary to widespread public speculation that the establishment of the court is a momentum is building across the country. Councillor Babu noted that the goal of the agreement is to keep the focus on victims and to ensure their stories are heard. According to Babu, the campaign is not about institution but about genuine healing and justice for war victims. He urged the local artists to assist in creating awareness of the necessity of accountability.
Everyone believed, and some people still believe, that the War and Economic Crimes Court will not be established. We have to attract the people, both here and in the diaspora. Don't take it as a document, just a document. I consider this MOU a fundamental document that we'll work with. That's why I asked this gentleman to come. Massacre Association, they are the ones who are advocating for victims and survivors to be given redress. There's no way I would be happy if you were not here for this particular occasion, because the music and your life is completely directed toward laws to victims and survivors and justice, which we are looking for them. Our central focus is the victims and survivors of our civil crisis. That is what everything we do. We show that the victims and survivors are an integral part of our activities. So as we sign this MOU, I said to you, for us, from our perspective, for everything that is in this word, we will live to every word in this MOU without a second thought. So let us sign this, not for our institutions, but for people like you. I want us to work together, to hold together, and to let the world to know this country can pick up something and go with it and conclude it. That is why I'm happy that we are doing this as a liberal process.
Councillor Bravo, the Executive Director for the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. In a bid to boost the industrialization, the Liberia Broadcasting System is set to establish a substation in Saclipie, Nima County. The move is part of ongoing efforts to enhance media coverage and access to public broadcasting services in all regions of the country. LBS Director General Eugene Fagan over the weekend disclosed that the management has secured 1 acre of land in Saclipie, Nima County to commence the project. He emphasized that the construction of the substation, along with President Joseph Mbaka's mandate to improve the presence and performance of the state's broadcasting across Liberia's 15 political subdivision. Fagan noted that the groundbreaking ceremony for the Saclipie substation is scheduled to take place next week, marking the official start of the project. He added that the LBS is in the process of acquiring land in Grand Cape County for a similar development aimed at further decentralizing LBS.
We were able to travel to Ganta, meet with some stakeholders there. From Ganta, we went on to Saclipie, where we've now, through negotiations, were able to acquire a piece of land, 1 acre of land, for the construction of a new substation in Saclipie for the people of Nimba that will cater to both television and radio.
Okay.
So by the time everything is concluded this week, by next weekend, we should be breaking grounds for the construction of a new substation in Saclipie. I want to thank the mayor of Saclipie and all of his councilmen who quickly were able to receive us, and you wouldn't believe we had a great time in Saclipie, and the people of Nimba will finally benefit from a brand new substation to be constructed from scratch to cater to television and radio.
Okay.
We then left Saclipie and traveled all the way to Tapita, where we were able to render assistance to our sister stations there and give some. As I speak to you, my team is getting ready right now. We will proceed to Cape Mount, where similar activities is expected to take place. This government is not playing. This government is not joking. If the people give us the 1 acre of land that we are asking for in Cape Mount this week, plans will get on the way for the construction of a brand new substation in Cape Mount County.
In a related development, the LBS Director General has issued a 3-week ultimatum to the Voice of Bong County Station to vacate the property said to be owned by the Liberia Broadcasting System. The Voice of Bong is owned by Representative Marvin Cole of Bong County Electoral District 3. Fagan disclosed that a team from the LBS recently held discussion with the Voice of Bong County management requesting them to leave the premises by July 30, 2025. LBS Director General stressed that the station is taking steps to reclaim and secure its facility and properties across the country. He maintained that the move is part of a broader vision to ensure that the national broadcaster operates independently and from its own spaces, free from external occupancy. Falcon reaffirmed his commitment to expanding LBS infrastructure and improving access to reliable state media in rural and urban areas alike, noting that the development in Nimba and Grand Cayman counties are not their properties or preparatory stage.
I made an unannounced visit to Bong County, to our property, or if you like, our facilities, to include the transmitter site at the barracks and our news studio site in the heart of Banga. What prompted that is the fact that I've had a series of conversations with the representative, Honorable Marvin Cole, concerning our facilities that he took over forcefully without our knowledge. And I used that word forcefully without our knowledge and operated it for a length of time. I'll be the first to admit that he did some work there in terms of renovation, but that does not negate the fact that he should not have been there in the first place. So we went over there, and last year I contacted him upon taking over, and I said to him that we will use that facility shortly in keeping with the mandate of His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai to bring television and radio to almost every capital or provisional areas in Liberia, that is the counties. We were poised to execute that mandate. We started off by sending the Liberian Land Authority. They brought back the report and our deeds and everything. I received a couple of calls from Representative Cole that he had done some work there, and we had a meeting with them before my return. I made it quite clear to them again. But like I said, the Land Authority, told him. He called me on the phone. I made it quite clear to him. But it's been a year and a half. And so I went there and told them that they have to leave because our equipment are in town. We are ready to use the facility. They asked for 3 weeks, which I thought was in good faith. I was accompanied by my deputy for rural broadcasting, Honorable James Nangbe, the deputy for administration.
He is the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Fagan. A group of local money exchanges under the banner Liberia Mobile Money Agents has formally petitioned Orange GSM and Lone Star Cell MTN over what they describe as unfair reduction in commission payments. Speaking in an exclusive interview with K News, the group's national chairman, Jeremiah Coliver, explained that the mobile money agents now receive only 16.50 cents in Liberian dollars instead of 60 Liberian dollars for processing, or 1,200 Liberian dollars withdrawal, while smaller transactions earn better commission, putting many agents at a loss. He noted that small-scale businesses now bring in more profit than mobile money services, making the sector less attractive and financially damaging to agents. He explained that with such reduced commission, many agents are unable to cover basic operational costs, and as such, as a result, some have already closed down. Coliver warned that if the current payment system remains in place, mobile money agents may soon disappear from communities across the country. The group emphasized that if no solution is reached, the group will take further action, including a passive nationwide shutdown of mobile money services to demand better treatment.
There are a lot of issues that we took to Lone Star Cell. There are a lot of issues that we've been having, but today specifically, we were looking at the issue of the commission. Commission has been reduced drastically. Where we were getting $60, now we are getting just $16.50 labor day. When you withdraw 1,200, what is even telling you that the layman that is doing meaning is more beneficiary to his business than the mobile money agent. Because if you do $50, meaning you get $20 profit. But if I am doing 1,200 transactions, I'm getting just $16.50 labor day. So it's how diminishing it has been. This means that if you eat 500 a day, you need 31 customers to come and withdraw 1,200 to be able to recover that 500. So it means the guys that you see in the street, 1 month, 2 months from now, you will not be seeing them. So this is the issue under the Liberia Mobile Money Agent National Remittance Association, covering the 15th Lagos subdivision of this country. saw it necessary to write their position to bring to this GSM company. So we carried to Orange and we had 2-hour discussion with them. We were in a meeting and we expressed these things that they are doing to the agent and not correct, and actually assured us which we will be making follow-up. They have assured us that in the next 3 months we should be making follow-up. Today, when we carry our letter, we had a meeting where they asked for, where they filed our grievances and we expressed to them.
He is Jeremiah Koliba, the national chairman of the Money Exchanges in Liberia. The executive director of the Get Empowered Foundation has urged the government of Liberia to prioritize investment in education over state ceremony. Sylvester Brown noted that several students in rural areas are learning under poor conditions, with some sitting on large in dilapidated classrooms, urging the government to mitigate the deplorable learning conditions in rural communities. Brown criticized the government's recent spending on the symbolic funerals of former President Og, arguing that those resources should have been used to improve school infrastructure. Brown also expressed concern over the growing number of children selling in the street, noting that such a trend contradicts President Bakai's 2023 campaign's commitment to address the solution. The revered Liberian educator warned that national reconciliation efforts will remain ineffective if education continues to be underfunded. He made this assertion over the weekend in Pinsville at the 4th graduation ceremony of Little Friends Academy.
Especially our President, the Honorable His Excellency Joseph Newman Buaka, who have in his arrest agenda education as one of the key pillars that this government will want to achieve. And how we think the government can do that is by devoting more time, by putting in the resources that the schools and school administrations need to ensure that the students are taught properly, the enabling environment is created. Today, as we speak, there are some schools in the rural areas where students are sitting on the floor. Some students are sitting on a leaking roof as it is raining today. But the government of Liberia is spending millions of dollars reburying our former presidents, which is not a bad thing, but I think that those resources, financial resources, needs to be directed to the educational system. You can have students sitting on the floor. You can have school buildings leaking and expect the children to learn something. The Minister of Education happens to be the chairperson on this reburial program of our two fallen presidents, President William Awatomra and Sandra Kanyado. The amount of money that they're using, or they have used of recent, to bury those two ex-presidents would have been diverted to the educational system and have our students getting the proper education, the environment needed to be conducive, instead of spending that money and resources on reburial. Reconciliation is very key. Reconciliation is very important. But let me tell you one thing. In the absence of education, reconciliation is useless. Because how can you tell somebody the word reconcile if they don't know the meaning of reconciliation? And that is something we need to pay keen attention to. To the government again, you got wayward students, children. You got a disadvantaged youth.
He is Sylvester Brown, the Chief Executive Officer of Get Empowerment Foundation. Deputy Education Minister for Instruction Amos Foley has underscored the need for stronger financial empowerment initiative for teachers across the country. Serving as a guest speaker at the 6th Annual General Assembly of the National Teachers Association of Liberia Credit Union Cooperative Society over the weekend in Buchanan, Grand Bassa County, Mr. Foley stressed that empowering educators financially is key to improving their well-being and the quality of educators across the country. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to work with the NATCLUS in expounding financial initiatives intended to strengthen teachers across the country. He admonished educators to remain professional, thus warning against using teaching as a temporary job for income generation.
Teachers are the backbone of our nation's development. Their dedication, sacrifice, and professionalism are the bedrock upon which the Liberian future is built. It is equally important that teachers are equipped with the knowledge and tools to manage their personal finances effectively. Financial literacy and access to credit facilities, such as those provided by credit unions, are essential for teachers to improve their livelihood standards, invest in their education, plan for the future. The significance of credit unions. Credit unions are powerful community-based financial institutions that promote savings, provide affordable credit, and foster economic resilience among their members. The association focus on credit union activities align perfectly with government voter agenda to promote financial inclusion and economic empowerment. I commend NTAL for advocating these initiatives which have the potential to transform the life of teachers and their community. As government recognize very importance of supporting teachers, not only through salary and professional development, but also by ensuring you have access to financial services that promote stability and growth. The Ministry of Education is committed to working closely with your organization and other stakeholders to enhance financial literacy program and facilities access to credit facilities for teachers nationwide. As the ministry stands now, the additional motivation package for teachers is the lessons of all of our teachers across the nation in making sure that you are well represented throughout the world. Liberia is a full-member African Federation for Teacher Regulatory Authority. That all of our teachers in the country will be licensed so that people can have respect for their profession. I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations.
For his part, the newly elected chairman of the board of directors of the NATCLUS, Freeman Duo, outlining his plan for the union, stressed that his primary goal is to implement a digital system geared toward increasing membership. He highlighted the impact the union has had on teachers, pledging his administration's commitment to ensuring that membership increases from 3,500 to 10,000 as a means of alleviating teachers' poverty.
Our plan is how we can take this membership from around 3,500 maybe to 10,000. Because in Liberia we have about 15,000 teachers. How can we recruit all of these people to be a part of the Teachers Credit Union? That's our biggest plan. And we are thinking about bringing in a software that can help us, take care of the data. Because doing it manually is going to be a serious problem because of the increase in membership. So if we can go to about 10,000, there's no way to do it manually. For mobilization, we establish a committee. We call it Education and Recruitment Committee. So that committee will now be responsible to go out there in the counties, wherever they can go. Thursday night, one of our programs, we ask for success stories. And people who were present, they heard a lot of good things that this credit union has done for our teachers, especially our members. Yeah, they are very able to buy land, build horse, buy a motorcycle, many other things that they have been doing, educate their children, even they themselves, sponsoring themselves in colleges. So a lot of things that the credit union is doing, and we hope to do more. Teachers who are not part are our targets. That's the main reason why we're establishing the recruitment committee, so that they can go out there and encourage our teachers to be a part of the credit union. It's very, very important that all of us, all teachers, all public school teachers of Liberia can come in and join to see how we can make it worthy for all of us. Our members are encouraged to keep going, keep increasing their savings, keep increasing their shares, so that we can get to the point where we're hoping to get. Our message is we are encouraging the public to give us the maximum cooperation they can give. For our teachers, we keep calling on them, especially those who are...
He's Freeman Duo, the president of NACARS, former earlier speaking, was the Deputy Minister for Instruction at the Ministry of Education, Amos Foley. Former Grand Bassa County Representative Kennedy Giles Bassigia has voiced out concern about worsening labor practices in Grand Bassa County, highlighting the systemic exploitation faced by local workers under the watch of foreign operators. Bassigia remarks stem from the weekend from a thorough investigation revealing alarming labor practices, notably towards imposition of unrealistic production targets on workers engaged at the steel operation site, which he describes as a form of modern-day slavery. He emphasized that workers are subjected to threat and intimidation, forced to meet unattainable quotas such as carrying excessive steel loads under threat of dismissal, while their health and dignity remain entirely neglected. The former Grand Bassa County Representative Kennedy further criticized the prevailing exploitation embedded within the recruitment and employment process. He expressed grave concern over the unchecked influx of foreign nationals, particularly Indians, who are allegedly taking over the labor sector and undermining local workforce rights by operating with government-issued permits without adequate oversight. Holding the government accountable, Bassigia underscored the urgent necessity for robust intervention to halt these abuses, insisting that the Ministry of Labor must act decisively to uphold labor laws and protect the welfare of Liberian workers.
We experiencing bad labor practice from the experience that our investigation that we've made. Our investigation has unearthed few things. One of which I want to start with is the one that most of our guys are growing onions. We got to give them target. As we speak, there is 25 persons suspected to have onion as well the on-go operation in AFCON phase. Before you get employed with AFCON, they ask you to do your medical check and bring your medical report. And the reason you bring it is because they want somebody who is fit. I can't come work for you fit, and I come outside unfit. My health should be a priority and should be kept in good health. And that is not happening. They give our people targets to lift up heavy steel beyond something that they themselves cannot carry. And they tell them that if they don't meet the target of maybe carrying 100 steels, you go home, you're not coming back. So when you go to Buchanan, you're never coming back. And they intimidate them like that. So people are screening themselves because they have to get something. And that bad labor problem must stop. We cannot continue to allow Indians or foreigners or other people come to our country and much our one job and make our people to look like they are modern day slaves. We cannot allow that to continue to happen. And we are admonishing the government to follow up on our investigation and make sure our people have what they need to have in the right frame of work as per what the Decent Work Act says. But you cannot have our people toting onion while you have machines to move these things. All because you want to meet your target and you're threatening them. That's not just all. We have people who they bring in as experts, but they are working to serve tea, and they are Indians. They are working to cook in Indian food, and they are Indians. How can you bring somebody to cook from India and call them expert? And our labor ministry is issuing licenses to the people as work permit and giving them resident permit to stay here and work in those fields, and they don't even investigate what kind of work for which the man is an expert.
He is Giles Bassigia, former Representative Kennedy in Grand Bassa County, the Bishop of the Catholic Archdiocese of Monrovia has cautioned religious organizations against abusing the duty-free privilege given by the government. Bishop Gabriel Chukwu made known his observation that some religious organizations are misusing the duty-free privilege by importing non-sale merchandise but a price tag on it for the ordinary people. Bishop Chukwu, however, failed to mention any particular religious organization abusing the duty-free opportunities. The Catholic Clergy issued the warning at the end of a 2-day deliberation organized by the Faith and Justice Network for religious leaders from the Monrovia Union countries in Monrovia.
As faith-based organization, we too must lead by example. I was in a meeting with, we call them religious school administrators, that is the religious congregations working in our archdiocese, and schools run by these religious, not the one run by the local church or the archdiocese, so to say. I hinted some of the things that we said with regard to bringing in things and even facilities that are being constructed, that we must live by example to ensure nothing comes in that with intent to commercialize. We must make sure we fulfill our obligation by paying due to the government. Even though we have the duty-free privileges, we must not abuse this. There have been instances where containers will come and some people will try to squeeze in things that they will use not for the intended purpose as for school or whatever. We want that to stop. We must live by example. We must clean our house before we look outside to clean other people's house. So we recommit ourselves to collaboration with the government entities directly responsible for ensuring that taxes that are as revenues are justly, fairly distributed to benefit everyone, irrespective.
For his part, Assistant Minister for Revenue and Tax Policy at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Andrew Golo, welcomed and extolled the religious leaders' contribution to the deliberation on tax payment in the MRU region. Assistant Minister Golo noted that the religious community is better positioned to reach larger audiences in the tax payment awareness campaign. Golo also urged citizens to pay taxes to capacitate the government in undertaking meaningful development in the country.
There is no perfect system, and because we don't have a perfect system, we welcome your campaign, we welcome your initiative. Inasmuch as our reforms or our tax system is geared towards building equity, wherever improvements are meant to be directed, your effort can help us in directing those necessary measures that will improve our tax system. But I say to you that our tax is progressive, it's not regressive. We don't have a flat rate of taxing people. If we have a flat rate of taxing people, we'll be taxing the poor and the rich the same, or the high income earners and the low income earners the same. But our tax system is structured in a way that we take more money from the high income earners and low money from the low income earners. The more money that we take from the high income earners, That helps us for income distribution. How do we distribute this income? We invest in government infrastructure, government expenditure that bring about relief to the ordinary people. Unjust tax can be considered as a tax that passes the tax burden on the masses unfairly. A just tax stems from the tax system itself, and an unjust tax could also stem from the way income are taxed for a category of the citizenry. Our tax system has come under so many reforms, and just as you are thinking, we have been thinking in the same direction. That is why the structure of our tax will lessen your burden in terms of how you go about executing this campaign to enhance a fair taxation system. We have a progressive.
If you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you're listening to K News Essays, a 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. We are live online at Cool. Also join us on YouTube at K News Channel 2 and www.knewsonline.com. And now to this development, the Civil Service Agency has unveiled its latest human resources assessment report for 3 public entities in the Lofa County University, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, and the Monrovia City Corporation. The report marks a significant step in CSA's ongoing efforts to strengthen personal management and public sector transparency. Unveiling the report, CSA Director General Josiah Joka pointed out that the effort is part of a broader strategy to conduct comprehensive personal credential verification across ministries, agencies, and commissions. This initiative is also designed to ensure that individuals occupying public service portfolios are properly vetted and qualified, which in turn will improve operational integrity and public trust. Joka disclosed that the project is not relying on budgetary support, but is funded through the CSA internal resources. Beyond these efforts, Joka appealed for broader collaboration with public entities and private sector stakeholders to ensure the sustainability of the assessment and verification programs. He made known his conviction that the successful implementation of this initiative could set a national precedent in promoting good governance.
Today we are here. It's an honor to have all of you here today. We are presenting 3 reports today: the Monrovia City Corporation, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Lofa County University. We deploy our teams at the 3 entities. The goal was to conduct thorough personnel and credential verification exercises. Our teams spent weeks at those entities. They traveled to Lofa. They stayed at the university for about 3 weeks. They were seated at LDEA for at least 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. They were at the Monrovia City Corporation for about 3 weeks. And generally, I want to extend heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the 3 institutions. You've been very kind. You've been very nice to our teams. As we all know, this process is not supported budgetarily. There's no money in the national budget for this exercise. This is one of the deliberate and intentional interventions that the CSA is doing to bring decency, efficiency, and productivity to the public service, but it's not supported through the budgetary enrichment. How we do it, it is not a miracle also. It is in the context of the President's call to all of us to collaborate, to partner, to work together, to pool resources, to share resources, and to deliver services to meet the expectations of the Liberian people. That is exactly what the Civil Service Agency is doing through these processes. Notwithstanding, I'd like to say that we need every support to support this initiative for us to cover all of the spending entities. We have 105 of them. And so anywhere we can get support from, we're highly appreciated from both the public and the private sector institutions. We'll be very grateful. It is often said that he who comes with equity must come with clean hands. What do I mean by that? After the ceremony here briefly, you will witness me and my two deputies. We will initiate the CSA personnel and credential verification exercise. So I will be the first. They're going to take me on, and after that, my two deputies will follow. And by next week, we will have downstairs, the entire team will be seated, and they will be working with the National Commission on Higher Education. Because we are CSA, we can exclusively do it on our own. And the only reason why our technical team will be involved, because we have the ESRP system, the Employee Status Regularization Program system. That's our application. So we will be working with the National Commission on Higher Education to do the credential aspect. We are going to do that. I want you to know, so nobody...
His CSA boss, Josiah F. Joka, there speaking. Representative Small Mobile of Montreal County Electoral District 3 has launched a fierce critique against the National Identification Registry over what he termed as a lack of key features in the National Identification Card. Representative Mobile frowned at the NRR for its failure to institute a system that will identify various of the national ID card through an activated national database system. He highlighted the lack of quick research code and personal identification number as key components on the national identification card renders the card substandard. According to Representative Mobile, the national identification card must recognize individuals through a holistic platform that is accessible by diverse institutions instead of solely linking individuals' identity to registry system. He also criticized the NRR over what he termed as a poor security feature on the current national identification card. According to Representative Mobile, the NRR failed to consider the best standard security feature on the identification card, citing the lack of anti-photocopy stimulator and gauge image, among others. He pointed out that the lack of several key requirements of the national identification card, especially with the security feature, puts citizens and foreign residents bearing the card at a potential intrusion of the privacy. The lawmaker called on executives to ensure the national database system is set up to align with the identification card, targeting the enrollment of citizens and foreign residents in the national biometric system.
When you look at the national ID card, when you list the national ID card or you scan with your machine, right, you will verify that the code, even your phone, you will notice that the code will not take you anywhere. I asked him, he said that the code will take you to the entity, his entity, National ID Card Agency, right? Yeah. So a database should not do that. The code should take you to the national database, where the national database platform portal will ask you for entry. So they may ask for your 3 coding or 4 coding, or they may ask you for barcoding. When you place in that figure from your ID card or ID number into your entry point, it takes you that have control over yours. So no one can have your data information. So when I listened to him, right, he confused the process. It was a confused process. Then we look at another aspect of the ID card. On the ID card, when you look at the ID card, there's no security feature. I have seen ID card from Freetime where you have the embedded chip. I have seen ID card from Nigeria where you have the anti-photocopier stimulator. I have seen ID card from Ghana where I have seen hologram, right? I have seen ID card from Kenya where I have seen the ghost image. But on our ID card, there is nothing. Then he tried to compare this ID card.
His Montreal County District 3 Representative Small Mobile. The National Food Assistance Agency has started President Joseph Boakai for signing the National Food Assistance Act into law. The legislation, officially approved on June 17, 2025, and subsequently published by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, establishes the NFA as a statutory agency tasked with spearheading the country's food assistance efforts. The agency will be responsible for developing, implementing, and coordinating national food programs, strengthening emergency food response mechanisms, and supporting vulnerable populations. rejoicing over the passage of the law under the theme From Vision to Victory, celebrating our progress together. The event at NFA headquarters in Simcoe over the weekend, staff members shared funds, memories of political neglect, and led to decades of institutional dormancy. The NFA Deputy Director General for Administration Bob Yinua Kato Yile termed the art a critical instrument that aims to lay a strong legal foundation, solidifying the agency's identity and positioning it for meaningful national empires. He expressed heart-warming gratitude to NFA Board of Directors and the Director General Boubacar Sali for his visionary leadership, strategies, foresight, and unwavering commitment in the progress. The NFA Deputy Director General expressed joy that NFA, which began with 2-room office and minimum staffing, has now evolved into a fully financial institution.
His signature on the NFAA Enabling Act, now printed into handbill, has laid a strong legal foundation, solidifying our identity and positioning us for meaningful national impact. I equally extend sincere thank you to the Board of Directors headed by Minister Dr. Mizana Nuta for their guidance and encouragement that have been instrumental in steering our vision. Thank you deeply. A special and heartfelt appreciation goes to our own father, our mentor, our leader, the Director General of the NFAA. Your visionary leadership, strategic foresight, and unwavering commitment have guided this agency through its most challenging period. Honor your direction. What began as a modest 2-room office with minimal staffing and no operational budget has now evolved into a fully functional institution. Today we stand as a recognized agency with operational funding secured through the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, 4 brand new vehicles procured and delivered, critical logistical support received from the United Nations.
And now to draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6, we take our foreign development where at least 10 people have been killed in a protest in Kenya, according to state human rights body, the latest in a wave of anti-government rallies that began last year. Police opened fire upon demonstrators and earlier on Dr. Aaron Sikuku, a medic at Igbo Nursing Home in Mikumi on the outskirts of Nairobi, told BBC. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6. It's been a joint effort among the Current Affairs Department at Cool 91.9. My name is Benjamin Gabriel.